explosion. In the blinding light of the flames, many were thrown into the air. As the flames subsided, Wang Cheng sped past in his vehicle, mounting the sidewalk and racing forward. His gaze swept past the very guard, who was getting up from the ground, a balloon-like mass on his head. Scarlet spores. It's the scarlet spores. A roaring sound surged from behind them. The blood-red clouds suddenly expanded. Haicheng University had transformed into another world. The campus was covered in blood-red vines, intertwining green and crimson. Huge root systems spread across the campus like veins, as if it had become a garden of ancient world creatures. Towering scarlet flowers rose from every corner of the school, reaching high into the sky, blooming with a thunderous roar just moments ago. That scene was as splendid as 100 flowers blooming at once. But what flew out were countless spores, spreading across the sky, overwhelming the locations of humans and other creatures. Monsters throughout the city howled, desperately charging forward, mindless mutants chasing the long, retreating human lines, while conscious mutated beings fled frantically from the spores, all converging towards the eastern district. The first to fall was this terrifying crimson rain. Soldiers from the military turned their weapons skyward and fired desperately, but they could only watch helplessly as the torrential downpour of despair drew closer. Mutated creatures, resembling fleshy balls, burst out from the sides of the buildings, rolling frantically on the ground. Those trampled underfoot were doomed to die. The collapse of the convoy had begun in earnest. Flames erupted everywhere, and screams of fleeing people filled the air. Wang Cheng pressed forward, while on the other side, the convoy in Wuhai City struggled to advance amid the chaos. They were already on the outskirts of the eastern district. If they could just move forward and escape the urban area, perhaps safety awaited them. This thought lingered in everyone's heart. Wang Cheng finally understood why the military was retreating in haste. The monster from High City University had evolved further. It sought to devour the entire city. With its capacity to spread spores, remaining at the temporary survivor gathering point in High City was tantamount to seeking death. The number of military personnel and vehicles dwindled, as if they had all fled, or perhaps they had been overwhelmed by the monsters while resisting. Along the way, he could only see large groups of survivors, stripped of military protection, struggling to survive in the apocalypse, desperately fleeing. The retreat route had transformed into a scene reminiscent of a slaughterhouse, with torrents of crimson spores and mutated creatures wreaking havoc, flames and cries merging into the last theme of this world. Rumors spread from ahead. The convoy in front had already fled. The military had abandoned them, taking the experts and dignitaries with them to Pingfeng Mountain. We are finished. We have been abandoned. Wang Cheng didn't know if the lead military convoy had escaped, but their own convoy was halted after advancing a distance. It seemed a fierce battle had just taken place here. The ground was littered with bodies and blood, and a large truck lay overturned, billowing thick smoke. Looking through the windows, one could faintly see charred figures inside. Many people were busy rescuing the injured and sick on the ground. The military had set up a checkpoint here and was urgently recruiting awakened individuals. To Wang Cheng's surprise, he recognized the small military leader here. It was Li Xinqing, whom he had met before. He seemed to have been promoted and was now standing at a height. All awakened individuals, you are temporarily requisitioned. We need your strength. Please stop your vehicles immediately and report to my vehicle. There is an urgent mission concerning the convoy and humanity. We require your assistance. Other unrelated survivors, please leave immediately. Do not believe the rumors. We have not abandoned you, and we will not abandon survivors. Our forces have been scattered, and our main unit has been attacked by a level 5 mutant creature from the other side of High City, losing control of the overall situation. Please take care of yourselves and escape the city as best as you can. Our brother units will regroup outside the city to assist you. In this special period of emergency, if we discover any awakened individuals disguising themselves as ordinary survivors to avoid battle and refusing to accept the emergency requisition, they will be killed on the spot. Beside Li Xinqing, there were 2 military vehicles, 2 machine guns, and a dozen armed soldiers. Wang Cheng's heart skipped a beat upon hearing this. The military rarely uses such severe methods to demand action from survivors, which likely indicates a serious situation, particularly concerning the convoy and humanity. With the saying, under a collapsing nest, how can there be complete eggs? Wang Cheng took a deep breath and slowly moved forward. Many vehicles had stopped, and he recognized several awakened individuals among them. Qin Hai was even pulled to the front, urging everyone to join the convoy. Behind, Wu Haiqing peeked out, wondering what was going on. In the blink of an eye, over 30 awakened individuals had gathered, with Qin Hai and Wu Haiqing taking the lead. Li Xinqing counted heads, and, seeing both Wu Haiqing and Qin Hai present, his face lit up with excitement. That's great. With you here, we may have a better chance, he said. Qin Hai and Wu Haiqing were recognized as the top among the awakened, so Li Xinqing was naturally pleased to see them. He stood among the awakened individuals and vehicles, saying, "Thank you all for being willing to lend a hand. I have no other choice. Our troops have been scattered. Our task is simple. We need to rescue a group of experts who hold a vast amount of critical resources and data related to apocalyptic research. It is essential that everyone cooperates to ensure their safety. After finishing his speech, he looked at Qin Hai and Wu Haiqing. These two had high prestige and exceptional strength among the awakened, and he needed their help to coordinate the others. You two are the strongest awakened here, and I hope you can assist in managing and organizing the others to cooperate with us. Just then, a woman in military uniform standing next to Li Xinqing suddenly pointed at Wang Cheng, who was sitting in another vehicle, and said, "Wait. They are not the strongest awakened here. He is a level 2 awakened." At this statement, everyone in the area was taken aback. Qin Hai and Wu Haiqing's expressions changed, revealing their shock. No one in the entire Haiqing had ever reached level 2. How did they not know someone had already achieved it? Wang Cheng was equally stunned. He had injected level 2 serum, and almost no one knew about it. Who had this foresight, and why were they so brazen as to expose him? Chapter 79. I'm done pretending. I'm not hiding anymore. Wang Cheng had come, but was still observing, not planning to step forward. Moderation was the instinct and nature of the people from his culture. He wanted to contribute, but was reluctant to reveal his strengths until absolutely necessary. He was shocked, thinking he had been secretly investigated and thoroughly assessed by the military. However, upon focusing on the speaker, he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. The person was none other than Su Ling, who had been incessantly claiming that Wang Cheng was a level 2 awakened. This woman had changed into military attire, and her face was dirty, making Wang Cheng momentarily fail to recognize her. She stared directly at him, clearly still fixated on his level 2 awakened strength. But Wang Cheng quickly regained his composure. The so-called secondary awakened individual that Su Ling thought of is not the same as what Wang Cheng believes to be a secondary awakened individual. Wang Cheng is once again left speechless by Su Ling's emotional intelligence. However, she is here. How are Chun Lan and the others doing? Li Xinqing also recognized Wang Cheng's trio. It's you? You're a secondary awakened individual? Other awakened individuals cast curious glances. For awakened individuals, aside from surviving, the most important thing is to enhance their strength. Achieving secondary awakening means enjoying greater privileges within the military, and it also increases one's survival chances in the apocalypse. Since the outbreak of the apocalypse, with so many awakened individuals, each reaching secondary awakening, hearing that there is one among them is astonishing. Wu Haiqing remarked, "Are you joking? Brother Wang, I know him. He's a secondary awakened individual?" Qin Hai seemed to recall traveling with Wang Cheng, and said, "Impossible. How could he be a secondary awakened individual? I'm not even at that level." Everyone's gaze fell on Wang Cheng, filled with jealousy, envy, disbelief, and deep suspicion. Wang Cheng remained silent for a moment, lowered the car window, and said, "All right, I won't pretend anymore. I'll be honest. I'm indeed stronger than average, but whether I'm a secondary awakened individual, I don't know. Plus, I rarely use my awakening abilities because I modified my car. Officer Li, give the order. Where are we going to rescue people?" Wang Cheng's words seemed to say something while also saying nothing. Qin Hai clearly showed displeasure and said, "Brother, don't hold back. Awakened individuals don't use their abilities but rely on modified cars. Haha, I see your car. I don't know what brand it is, but where's the modification? This is the apocalypse. If you really are a secondary awakened individual, you should announce it and tell everyone how you achieved it. If not, we can still be friends and share knowledge." His eyes flickered as he stared intently at Wang Cheng. Qin Hai appeared to have a broad perspective, but was also quite self-centered. He enjoyed being the center of attention and had always aimed to become a secondary awakened individual, hoping to advance faster and further than others. Aside from the military's female awakened individual, he felt inferior. Why should this suddenly emerged awakened individual overshadow him? Not clarifying his words, he directly lost his temper. However, at this moment, Li Xinqing interjected, "Brother Wang is right. The situation is urgent. We must move forward immediately. Saving the experts is our priority. Let's set off now." Su Ling, realizing she had misspoken, fell silent. With Li Xinqing speaking, Qin Hai merely shot Wang Cheng a dissatisfied glance before turning away, coldly stating, "I hope you can put in some real effort. If I find out you're slacking off or trying to take advantage of the situation, I will execute you on the spot." On the other side, one of Qin Hai's subordinate awakened individuals scornfully said, "What secondary awakened individual? I don't see anything impressive, hiding and showing off." Hearing this, Zhang Chao in the back seat couldn't sit still. Damn it, is he targeting us? Who does he think he is? Just because he has some popularity and reputation, he thinks he's important? Should they be executed? Does he even have the qualification? However, Su Xinghai reacted quickly and pulled Zhang Chao back. The entire team began to move, and Wu Haiqing took a deep look at Wang Cheng. He didn't seem as surprised as Qin Hai, as he had long suspected that Wang Cheng and his group were unusual. Yet, he was deeply doubtful in his heart. Could it be that Wang Cheng was really a second-level awakener? Wang Cheng wasn't angry. He just laughed from behind, saying, "You can give it a try."